and thanks for checking out the channel. This one I just got the Lectron on the bike at the time, and I was looking forward to getting it as lean as possible, to where it still runs good, is crisp, responsive, really just to save some fuel since I was riding the bike on the street all the time. Like, this bike goes to work with me and everything every day. It's nice. So I really wanted to maximize my fuel. However, I decided to start at the extreme end, and this was just way too lean, if you can't tell. But, so I decided I'm going to get some lunch. I go to a diner. It's like a 50s diner, a nice throwback place I like going to. Really enjoy it there. And once I get there, I decide to richen it back up a bit. Basically take it almost back to where I had it, a little bit leaner. I think I went 3 turns just to, like I said, go to the extreme thing and the things on this. But when it comes to tuning these carbs, you literally just spin a rod, and when you spin it, it changes how long it is, which changes the diameter of your quote-unquote jet, to allow fuel to leave the carburetor, essentially. And these electrons, they auto-tune for elevation, humidity, and temperature. So you pretty much never have to mess with them. They're just a set it and forget it kind of thing. And unless you're going to be riding in like sand dunes and you want to make sure you got enough oil, enough mixture, I should say, to keep everything oiled up nice, because you're going to be on the pipe a lot more, then you may want to lean it out a little bit. You might want to richen it up a little bit. But what you do is you just count how many turns you turn it, and then when you're done doing that kind of riding and you need to go back to your old adjustment, you just turn it back that amount of turns, and it's pretty straightforward. I'll take this over playing with jets all the time, any day. I've had no issues with this carb for 4 years. It's been on my 200 before this bike. I put it on this bike. All I had to do was buy a different rod. Hey Ranger, what's up? I had to buy a new rod. It was like $30 or so, just to make it work a little better on my bike. But you can really hear that this thing is just way too lean. I run this carburetor, like I said, for 4 years. It's been mostly trouble-free. I can't say it's been 100% trouble-free, because I left the fuel on this entire time. I run pump gas with ethanol in it, and I guess it was last season. Was it last season? I think it was last winter. Yeah, it was. Yeah, when I first got back on my bike, I went for a ride, and on my way back, it seemed like down on power, and it seemed really, really rich. And it was because the needle wasn't seating 100%, because some ethanol made a little deposit where the needle couldn't sit all the way flush when it needed to, and the bike was starting to overfill. So I contacted Lectron, and they actually sent me a different needle and seat design for free. And it worked better for my bike anyway, all around. It's been, like I said, other than that, it's been a flawless carburetor. And I never shut my fuel off. I leave it on all year round, just to, pretty much experiment with it, see if anything will make like any problems, so that I can be the test dummy. And that's it. That's my only complaint, and it's not a complaint. It's just that's what happened. And the amount of miles that this carburetor has already had seen put on it, which is over 10,000, probably closer to 15 or 20. I mean, it really doesn't get any better than that. I get 40 to 50 miles per gallon out of a 2-stroke, and they say you lose bottom end, but I mean, like, you're talking tire spinning power. You don't need that. I mean, maybe if you're doing some crazy hill climbs or I don't know, going through some really thick clay, I could see it. But I mean, for everything I do, sugar, these types of trails, pits, hill climb, smaller hill climbs, I'm talking like competition hill climbs, I could see maybe you need that bottom end, even though you're more or less on the pipe. It's just for if you lose traction for a second and you need to really bring the R's back up, I could see it. But I mean, the way it delivers power on the bike, it's more controllable. It feels faster as far as the fact that you can get up to speed. It tracks better is what I should say. It makes it lug better. So RPM wise, I mean, I've had my bike, you would think that it wasn't even running. The RPMs were so low, and I just clutched it a little bit just to bring it back into a normal RPM range. And I mean, any 4-stroke, it would stall right out, and I'm pretty sure a stock carburetor would stall right out also. Like, I really think it's the Lectron that allows you to be able to lug even more than you could on a 2-stroke before, compared to a 4-stroke. And that's usually just to rotating mass and whatnot. But coming up here in a second, you'll see I hit the diner, and then when I get out, I decide to make an adjustment, and you're gonna see how easy it is. It's pretty effortless. Yeah, let's wait until we get to that point, and I'm gonna stop talking for right now because I don't really have a script or anything. I'm just talking about the carburetor and how I feel about it and my experiences, and yeah. And this is Whiting, which is like a elderly community, so they have this 50s diner that I really like going to, and the food's excellent. I think today I got a grilled cheeseburger, which is 2 grilled cheese sandwiches with a burger in the middle of it, and they hand make their own burgers, which is pretty rare. There's only one burger I like more than that, and that's Miller's Ale House. They have this prime burger, and it's just, I can't even begin to explain how good it is. If you ever see a Miller's Ale House, go there and get a prime burger. You won't be disappointed. But yeah, the diner's right up here. So most of the ride to the diner is through the woods. It doesn't have to be. I mean, I've gone right down the road here as well. Bike's 100% legal. I'm not really worried about it. In New Jersey, even off-road, your bike has to be street legal to pretty much not get messed with. Like, you can ride off-road, but I forget what they do. I think they give you like EPA tickets or something for doing it if you register and insure. No, what is it? If you register and insure the bike, but you don't tag it. And in New Jersey, there's a lot of bikes that you can't tag. They're just not approved. My bikes are kind of falling into like a little loophole. So I just take advantage of it. Both my bikes are vintage gas bikes. This one's a 2004, and I have a 2010 also. The 2010's a 200cc. This one's a 300cc. So I don't remember. I know I walk into the place, but I don't remember how long it is until I actually tune this thing. But it's coming up, I promise. Yo,
can I take it for a ride?
not today, man. So here's pretty much the moment that, if you are watching the video, this is probably what you tuned in to see. Basically, this is it. I mean, I keep these tools on me at all times anyway, so it's really not a big deal. The one thing that I probably wouldn't keep on me is the standard Allen keys that it takes to open Lectron. Not a big deal. You just take a screwdriver, loosen your 2 clamps, spin your carburetor towards you. It's 3 Allens, however, I only use 2 of them. I use the outer 2, I don't use the middle one, because it's kind of a pain to get to with the Allens that I have, so it's not a big deal. It doesn't suck air. It seals plenty good without the other screw. You can do this with or without gloves. It's a lot easier without gloves, however, I'm kind of used to it. So this is going to richen the bike up by making the rod shorter. You can see that tapered edge of the rod. It goes up, so by it being shorter, the orifice becomes bigger because of the way that taper is on the rod. That is it. I just richened up my bike. I'm going to put my 2 screws back in, and then I'm going to spin the carburetor level so the float level sits right, and then tighten up the clamps, and pretty much never touch it again. I haven't touched it since, and this video is probably, if I had to guess, it's 5 or 6 months, maybe I made this 5 or 6 months ago, maybe longer. Not sure exactly, but long enough to where I won't touch it next year either, put it that way. It's set and it's done. And then there's also one other setting for, you got your idle, which after I start the bike, you'll see me play with a little bit, just because if you do change the rod, you have to change the idle to accommodate. So for instance, if you go 1 turn on the rod of a properly idling bike, you're probably going to want to go 1 turn on the idle as well. You kind of match them. Then the only other adjustment on this carburetor is there's a 50% to 100% throttle adjustment, which is your top end adjustment. The newer Lectrons do have 3 circuits, which would be a low, mid, and top. But mine is just the low and high, but it's also a lot more affordable. The 3-circuit one, I believe, is like $800 or $900 now, and I think I paid $500 for my carburetor. So almost, I mean, not quite half the price, but you know. Oh, and the reason it's having trouble starting is because the kicker gear is kind of stripped out, and also the main bearing was going bad at the time, which I'm currently in the middle of rebuilding the engine. I got it torn apart. Just, it's winter, so no rush. I'll have it done by the time the weather breaks. But it did get worse and worse. It eventually, just in one of my other videos, you can see it stalling all the time. That was actually at idle. The main bearing was randomly just locking up the motor, and I didn't realize it at the time. I thought it was like a clutch adjustment or something. But then, like maybe 2 weeks later, the motor just locked up on me completely on the way home from work, and without having a battery on it was nighttime. Without having a battery on the bike, there was a car behind me. As soon as it locked up, just no lights, and I was worried the car was going to hit me. So I tried popping the clutch one time. and I was doing like 50, 55, and the bike just started sliding all over the place. So I said, screw this, pulled the clutch in, slid into a field, and let the car that was behind me go by so they didn't kill me, because I don't trust people. And I guess I go to Wawa. Oh, I think I fill up with fuel. More than likely, that's what I'm doing here. And that's another thing, riding a two-stroke on the street. Fueling up really isn't that serious. People make it a big deal. Oh, you gotta mix oil and this and that. It's 80 milliliters per gallon. You buy bottles with measurements on them. And what I try to do is I try to just put 2 gallons in the bike. My bike's 2.5 gallons. When I hit reserve, I can fit 2 gallons. So when I hit reserve, I go to the gas station and I add 2 gallons and I put 160 milliliters of oil in, and that's it. It's not that crazy, but people seem to think it's like a huge deal for some reason. Oh, I don't even show it. I guess I cut that out of the video because this video is long enough. But yeah, there's other videos where I'm putting fuel on the bike. This is the way back. On the way back, it's the same trail as I took on the way there, but you can just tell the bike's doing a lot better. The other thing was, on the way there, I wanted to ride it not as hard because you're not getting proper lubrication. You really don't want to, have the bike high RPMs, ripping, shifting hard. Even though on the way back, I really don't. I ride pretty fast, but I'm no professional. I never said I was. I try to ride within my skill level, and I try to make sure that I don't make any mistakes, because I'm not trying to get hurt. Like, I'm 41. I've been hurt. I've been destroyed on a bike at one point. I broke my rib cage, my sternum. I broke and dislocated my thumb. I broke my toe. It wasn't a good time. And I'm sure it cost my mom a lot of money at the time because I was on her insurance because I was a kid. But yeah, I've also had things like random branches show up that weren't there before that, could take you out. Quads, Jeeps, Rangers. You really got to worry about all that stuff out here. Deer. I had a deer jump out in front of me. If you look into my videos, you'll see it's actually on the same trail as this one. Broad daylight, just like this. I was doing like 40, 45 or so, and a deer just jumps out in front of me. And luckily, it turned around and ran back off the road, because if it didn't, it would have taken me out 100%. It was only a baby, but it would have taken the bike right out from under me because I was literally in midair when it came out in front of me, so I couldn't steer, I couldn't brake, I couldn't throttle out of it. We were destined to hit each other if he didn't change his mind. And that'll really make you pucker up and rethink your life choices on riding, or how you ride, I should say. Because there's just some things that you could be the best rider in the world. But if a baby deer wants to jump out of a bush as you're going by and you're in the air and it hits you, it don't matter who you are, you're going down. And the only part of protective gear I have, honestly, is boots. And just boots, then a helmet. I need to get something for my chest, and I need to get thinking about getting these inflatable pants for my hips, because I actually have a bone disease in my hip, which is another reason why I'm scared of falling, because not scared of falling, but do my best to avoid falling. I mean, I fall pretty frequently, but usually at a slower speed. like hill climbs. I've had a couple times. Actually, there's a video on my channel if you check it out for hill climbs. I'm going up the hill on the bike. It's when the main bearing was going bad. It just literally stalled on me in the middle of a hill climb. Like, I'm giving it throttle and it just shut right off. And I mean, like I said, I fall in slow speeds, but I'm really trying my best to not fall at high speeds. I think everybody can relate. It's not a fun experience, that's for sure. But yeah, back to the bike. This is what a properly tuned Lectron runs like, feels like. It's pretty amazing, to be honest. It's like EFI without a computer. That's the only way I can really explain it. No matter what happens throughout the day, temperature, if I were to go into the mountains, if it started raining and the humidity went to 100, the bike's gonna ride exactly the same. If I go to, even if I change fuels, unless I go to, like if I go to an ethanol-free fuel, or if I go to like E85, which I haven't tried, no real reason to, but other than the float level due to the density of the fuel, if the float level doesn't affect anything, like if it doesn't go over the full mark, I would think you don't have to make any adjustments, so it would still run the same. I know when you switch fuels and go to like alcohols and other types of racing fuels that people run in their bikes, I know that there's a different rod that you buy. I have no intentions of doing that. Actually, a big part of why I bought the Lectron was I asked them if they have ethanol problems with their carburetors, and they said none. And I was like, take my money, because I knew I was going to be going to the pump. I didn't want to be reliant on ethanol-free fuel. I mean, if it was readily available at every pump and wasn't like 3 times the freaking price, I wouldn't be as hesitant on it. But I don't know. I can't justify the cost of that fuel for like virtually no benefit. And technically, the ethanol helps keep your detonation down, especially hotter days. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this carburetor or tuning. It's kind of basic. It kind of speaks for itself. And here I go through the puddle. I forgot that was there. I was like, oh shit. Whoops, I got a little wet, but by the time I got back, I was all dried off again. Yeah, carburetor rocks. It's worth every penny. So is a smart carb. I haven't actually used one, but they're equally awesome. So if you were interested in one, definitely check them out. I don't have any promotions. I'm not making money off this. I just really like the product. And hopefully you get one and you like it too. Thanks for watching.